Good day, fellow Zimbabweans. Today I'm going to start by telling a tale. A tale so accurate it might as well be archived at the National Archives of Zimbabwe. Except they are probably too busy sweeping rat droppings and water leaks to store anything of value. This is not fiction. This is a parable wrapped in maize meal. Imagine a hostel somewhere in Zimbabwe. Maybe in Highfield, maybe in Bulawayo, maybe at a boarding school somewhere, maybe just a metaphorical version of our own beautiful broken country. Inside this hostel, there are 100 students. Every morning, they are served chimodo. Not just once, not as a treat, but every single day. The kind of chimodo that makes you question your life decisions. That bland, tasteless, unapologetic block of soggy maize meal that tastes like the system. Dry, recycled, and unapologetically mediocre. Now, here's the interesting part. Out of those 100 students, 80 complain daily. Not just quiet, polite complaints. No. Loud, passionate, dramatic groans that echo through the hostel halls. They say things like, "We are tired of this rubbish. Why can't we have something else? Are we cursed to eat this for eternity?" They want change. Real, steaming, delicious change. They fantasize about mangai served hot, manuchu grilled to perfection, fresh chips, warm bread and butter, or even noodles that don't smell like expired glue. They imagine a life beyond chimodo. They tweet, they post, they rant in group chats. They are the majority, at least on paper. But every time change is put on the table, they act like political tourists. Window shopping revolutionaries, loud in complaints but quiet at the ballot box. Meanwhile, the other 20 students, they are something else. Calm, composed, disciplined, united. They may be the minority, but they are serious, dead serious. They love chimodo. They love chimpoto high. They love isinkwa somfahla. Not just tolerate it, they embrace it. They wear t-shirts that say "Proud Chimodo Eater." They defend it with the same energy someone would defend their tribe or their church. So, the warden, tired of being the hostel's punching bag, says, "Let's vote. Every night, we will choose tomorrow's breakfast." When voting time comes, every night they march, vote, and leave. Confident that their 20 votes will count more than the scattered voices of the 80. They don't fight among themselves about who to vote for. They don't waste time debating whether they prefer manuchu or noodles. They know exactly what they want, and they act on it. No confusion, no divisions, just pure focused commitment to their meal and their mission. So each night, the votes are cast. The Chimodo loyalists, those organized 20, they all vote as one solid block. And the 80 complainers, they scatter their votes like confetti at a wedding. Each one shouting louder than the next about how their taste is superior. 18 vote for mangai because they think it's traditional and pure, magwadla. 16 scream for manuchu, claiming it represents innovation. 14 whisper for chips, dreaming of Western influence. 12 go for bread and butter because it's soft and reminds them of peace. 10 throw their lot behind noodles, a desperate attempt at modernization. and the remaining 10, they bake mpotlotlo because it's rustic and it reminds them of better days. Each group thinks their dish is the future, the solution, the one true path. But because they can't agree, they lose. Every single time they lose. And Chimodo, that tasteless symbol of the past, wins again. It returns in the morning like a ghost from yesterday's disappointment, hot, sticky, and served with a side of national regret. Now let's come out of the hostel and walk into Zimbabwe. You, me, us, we are those students. We live in a country where over 80% of the people are fed up, tired of corruption, tired of the rot, tired of fake promises, rigged elections, staged economic statistics, fake job creation slogans, and rallies where no one eats. Well, they eat chicken slice. But when it matters, when real decisions must be made, we act just like those hostel students, divided, petty, focused on personalities instead of principles. We pick sides, not based on policy, but on popularity, tribe, Twitter followers, or church connections. Meanwhile, the ZANU-PF machinery, the Chimodo crew, moves like a military operation, clean, ruthless, and committed. They don't care if it's edible. They just want to win. And they do. Let's talk about Geza. Here was a man trying to wake the country up. He called for a demonstration. Not for fun, not for clout, but to speak real change. How many people showed up? A handful. A few courageous souls who dared to leave their homes. And what was their reward? Arrested, dragged, beaten, humiliated. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, the very people they were fighting for turned on against Geza. They accused him of putting people in harm's way. They said he was responsible, as if he is the one who sent the riot police. Imagine that. The firefighter is blamed for the fire. The man calling for unity is crucified by the people he is trying to save. And why? Because Chamisa wasn't in it. That's right. Some people stayed at home, refusing to participate, not because they disagreed with the message, but because their preferred political superstar hadn't signed the invitation. Chamisa, in a moment of political self-preservation, publicly distanced himself from the action. He basically said, "That's not my show." And boom, just like that, the potential for mass resistance fizzled out like Econet airtime in Chikurubi. Geza had made an inclusive call. Anyone who wanted change was welcome. But instead of unity, he got isolation. Instead of support, he got silence. Then came the shutdown. Another bold move by Geza. He asked the people to stay at home for 2 days. Just one symbolic or 2 symbolic days of resistance. Guess what happened? The 20% who believed in it stayed home, hoping their silence will roar. But the 80%, they went to work, opened shops, did deliveries, and kept life moving like it was just another Tuesday. People even mocked the shutdown, especially when Geza then called it an indefinite shutdown. They called it a flop. But here is the thing. It didn't flop because it was a bad idea. It flopped because the people who claim they want change didn't show up. Yes, if you are at work today, checking your phone, sipping your instant coffee while reading this commentary, or hearing this commentary, or watching this commentary on YouTube, I am talking about you. Change doesn't happen by watching. It happens by showing up, even when it's inconvenient, especially then. And history doesn't just whisper these lessons, it screams them. Go back to 2008. That year, ZANU-PF was vulnerable, bleeding from economic collapse, surrounded by angry citizens, and facing an opposition with momentum. That was the moment, a golden chance. And yet, what happened? Simba Makon. Instead of uniting with Morgan Tsvangirai, he decided to run solo. He thought he could offer a third way, a middle ground. But all he did was divide the vote. He grabbed 10%, not enough to win, not enough to even be the runner-up, but just enough to deny Tsvangirai a clear victory. That 10% was the difference between a new Zimbabwe and the same old Chimodo. One man's ego stole a nation's chance to rise. And we've been paying the price ever since. In bond notes, in fuel queues, in broken hospitals, and in unmarked graves. That, my friends, is the curse of Zimbabwe. We don't know how to unite. We let egos, denominations, political brands, and Twitter clout sabotage our collective strength. We choose being right over being effective. We treat politics like soccer, cheering for a favorite player while the stadium burns down. We post, we tweet, we protest in private. But when the moment of truth arrives, a march, a vote, a shutdown, we fold. We retreat. We wait for someone else to do the hard part. And the 20%, they just keep winning quietly, consistently, while the rest of us fight over who deserves to serve the sad salad we call democracy. So here's the lesson again, but louder. Power is not about numbers. It's about unity, strategy, sacrifice. If 80% of Zimbabweans remain scattered, confused, selfish, or passive, we will never win. Never. The future won't be served on a silver platter. It will be cooked, fought for, and plated by those who organize, those who act, and those who show up. There's an organized protest for Nyoka Emabunu at the Zimbabwean embassy. Get details of the protest. If you are in Johannesburg, if you are in Pretoria, if you are in Bloemfontein, find ways to go to Pretoria to protest. Take an off day. Even if it's an unpaid off day, make a sacrifice. Go and fight for the freedom of Zimbabweans. Go and stand with Nyoka Emabunu. Ladies and gentlemen, the struggle needs you. Don't look at Chamisa. Don't look at Geza. Don't look at Nyoka Emabunu. Don't look at the soldiers. Look at yourself. What are you doing in order to be able to achieve the aims of the struggle? So next time you hear about a march, a protest, or a shutdown, don't wait for your political god to co-sign it. Ask yourself, is this right? Is this just? Does this bring change? If yes, then show up, stand up, speak up, and while you are still here, do your part as a freedom fighter. Hit the subscribe button to Zimwaves TV, share this video, and like. This is the only place bold enough to say it how it is. Because here, we don't save Chimodo, we save truth, and it's always best when it's hot.